Autumn is upon us. The summer that actually had some sun has gone, but Bring Your Own Ball is back to beam some rays into your house. We'll hear from Margie on A Mad Month. It's the second instalment of Mostyn's answer to Grand Designs, and when it comes to studio chat, I can't promise a fight, but I will try. Roll the titles, Flower. Watcher. I'm Andrew Lindsay, and we have somehow reached a second show. Swampy has fashioned himself some trousers out of this very chair to join me again, and the Roy Williamson-shaped hole in the sofa has been filled amply by Stephen Wood from FCUM Review. Don't talk yet, gents, because it's time for action first, and before you get too excited, I'm just talking about football. What looked to be a titanic early season clash, a rematch of last season's playoff semi as Witton Albion took on FC United at Gig Lane. Roy was well enough to commentate on the night and on the football, along with James Quinn.
It's a real battle for that ball then. It's Brownhill. Ooh, and well, that was a pretty rough stuff from Mike Powell. It seemed like a forearm smash in the back of the net there on Matt Wolfenden, but the referee just a quiet word and that's all. That was pretty hefty challenge there from Mike Powell. As Brownhill to Worsley, and Wolfenden now checks, goes inside Moyo. This is good work from Wolfenden, runs over the ball, and that's intended for Greaves. Greaves doing well, and does look like a penalty. Indeed it is. It was one of those sort of clumsy sort of challenges, really. Tom Greaves not really in control of the ball there, and legs getting caught up, and referee not a lot of option there than to award the spot kick. The referee very clear with his decision, and Banks is the man who's going to try and put FC one ahead. Oh, and Matt Cooper will be disappointed. He got both hands to that, but they weren't strong enough. He went the right way, and credit to Banks, because it was well placed enough and with enough power to defeat Cooper, even though he got his hands to it. And FC United, as they aim to get back on top of the Northern Premier League tonight, take the lead. FC have it. It's Banks. He'll look for Wolfenden. That's not a bad ball at all. And Wolfenden now. Can he get this? That's intended for Greaves, surely. Well, yes! Well, from absolutely nothing, and congratulations to Ollie Banks. Pinpoint pass from Banks. Wolfenden takes it nicely, crosses early, and Greaves with enough space, and then the trademark Greaves composure to slide that in. Wolfenden linking up beautifully with Greaves, and Greaves puts FC United 2 goals to the good here.
We've caught that one on camera. I'm sure we have. We've got professionals on job here. Absolutely stunning goal, that. The ball from Banks. Oh dear me. Come on, referee, sort these people out. Oliver James, absolutely red card. Take him off. Absolutely disgusting challenge. No concern for your fellow players there whatsoever. Well, Ollie's going off. I am informed also by James here that Oliver James did go over and check him out before he went down the tunnel, so maybe it was just a spur of the moment thing, but you can't get away with that on a football field. And Ollie Banks absolutely in the prime of his form here at the moment. And that ball for that second goal, the ball to Wolfie was absolutely exquisite.
And now, well, that's chipped forward. This. Ooh. Now it's cross again. Surely a great opportunity. Oh my goodness me! I don't think Greg Daniels knows how he missed that. Christmas came a little bit too early there for the FC United substitute. Perfect ball from Wolfen, very sharp, and because it was travelling at such speed, Daniel just couldn't get over it enough to keep it down. The ball goes over the bar, but it was an empty net that beckoned there for Greg. Now then Worsley. Oh, she's got Wright with a lot of space. If Wright can stay onside, good work from Worsley, but well, not in the opinion of the referee, and it's a red card. Well, I don't think anybody can quite believe that.
Passing in the first half was pretty more than pretty good actually. Jerome just gets a touch on it now. Well, that's number 10 there, Michael Powell. I don't want to say too much about that, but he tried that twice in the first half, and I think the lads come here with an agenda. We'll see. Not a great challenge. Not a great challenge. Referee, you've got to sort this out, I'm afraid. Naughty challenge. Yep. He did a couple in the first half, and looking for some help. Stop. Shot. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, it was a speculative effort there from Dean Stott. And Matthew Cooper, who's had a really good game, to be perfectly honest, on 59 minutes, just lets it squirm under his body. His defenders and his players and colleagues are not happy with him, but well, that's 3-0 to FC United, and Cooper will be kicking himself, James. Got it on the pitch, good lad. Spenner's going to have to clear. And Whitton score with the most bizarre goal. Ball back to Spenner. It rebounds off the player, and that makes it 3-1. The player. And that makes it
Swampy FC went top after that win, but 2 red cards. That was the story of that match as well.
It was indeed. It was a good performance from the boys. A below par Whitton Albion, in all fairness, but you can only play against the opposition in front of you, which is an old cliche, I know. But FC United, stuck to the task, scored goals at vital times, and were comfortable winners in the end. The sending off, disappointing. However, there didn't seem to be a great deal in it, certainly from the Worsley perspective. It didn't tend to really go over the ball as much as one would have thought for what would give a red card. But the referee saw it that way, and certainly the other red card, that was a red. So it didn't detract from the game, but certainly from an FC perspective, they got the job done against a team that promised a huge amount this season.
2 of the goals were properly funny, weren't they? Dean Stott's relying on some lovely goalkeeping, and then some lovely goalkeeping of our own from James Spencer for Whitton's goal. But he's really established himself as number 1.
He certainly has, yeah. I mean, the guy's got great qualities. Been an ex-professional, over 130 appearances for Stockport County, the youngest goalkeeper to ever play in the for County. And I think it was always going to be a tough ask because you've got 2 very good goalkeepers there, and they're vying for that shirt. But for me, he is just about there, and should, and quite rightly has, the number 1 shirt.
So is John Worth not too good to be a number 2 at this level?
I think so, yeah. I mean, a number of seasons ago, we were watching John Worth, not before Spencer came on the scene, and we were all talking about getting him at FC United. He was top draw, and even the time when Sam Ashton was FC United, John Worth, not for me, was the goalkeeper to bring in. He never came in, and then we're very lucky to get a player of his quality, even as a number 2. I mean, obviously he's moved on. At the moment, he has dual registration now with Guiseley, so he's playing the conference. In that respect, hopefully he can get matches under his belt, and if he's called upon for FC United, he can do a job. So again, 2 top quality goalkeepers. It's very rare that you get very good goalkeepers at one club, because obviously it's the worst position to be in if you are the number 2.
And just going back to Whitson briefly, some real confidence in the side that night.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there was a big crowd there. There was a very, very good atmosphere. The fans all together in the main stand, and aside from the football, it was a really good way that FC United approached the game. They bonded very well on the pitch and off the pitch. It was a very united, so to speak. I do believe what's happened off the pitch for Wigan has caused them problems. Hopefully they can kick on now, as a football club. But FC United, I think, played them with their outside. They certainly were the team that we played in the semi-final. And FC United played some good expansive football on the night, and the likes of Nicky Platt come back for that game. He was playing for Witton Albion. Great reception for him. He's played for FC United, done superbly well. But he looked a shadow of his former self really as well, and the whole team really just didn't gel for me from a Witton perspective. But we won 3-1. Got to be very happy with it. Top of the league.
There you go, yeah, momentarily. Great. Those are the views then, and the polished views of a media professional who's become a regular on the BBC's non-league football show. Let's increase the tempo now and hear from some beer-fueled matchgoers, startled by our ultra-portable camera.
Against a tough physical team. We deserved the 3 points on the night. Should have been a lot more goals to us. Just unfortunate. A disgraceful tackle on Oliver Banks on what could have been a big night for him, because he's got Chesterfield here looking after him tonight. Good 3 points. Visibly up there somewhere and thereabouts again.
It's the most fun I have had in a long time. That literally had everything. 4 goals, 2 sendings off, 2 stretchers and bags full of fun.
What an amazing night, 1,600 loyal fans all supporting FC United. Come on FC, we are top of the league, FC United, where we should be, where we'll be.
We've had a great result, but the statement tonight was FC United are against racists. We've won 3-1 on the pitch, but we've made a statement across non-league football that we won't tolerate racism, so that's what we do, mate. Thanks.
I thought it had gone a bit northwest counties actually. Poor referee, someone got injured, bad decisions. It was like the olden days when we were top of the league.
Yeah, I thought it was cracking when it was really good.
Yeah, just looking forward to the rest of the season now. Hopefully we'll finish on top.
Yeah, same as us, we'll finish on top as well.
So FC, top of the league, could they stay there though? Well, Rushall Olympic were the next visitors to Gig Lane. The visitors were 4-0 victors in this fixture last season. James and Roy were hoping that lightning did not strike twice, and quite a delightful afternoon.
Welcome everybody to a sunny Gig Lane, sunny so far anyway, for this Evo Stick Premier Division fixture, FC United of Manchester versus Rushall Olympic. And I'm joined by James Quinn this afternoon. I'll just run through the visiting side. Chris Gemmell, Kyle Haynes, Matty Wood, Tom Eckersley number 4, Mitchell Tolley, number 6 Gavin Keynes, the captain, 7 Carl Palmer, 8 Josh Craddock, 9 Dele Adebola, ex-Coventry and Birmingham City player, more of him later, number 10 Ahmed Obeng, and number 11 Luke Bottomer. And the subs for the visiting side Rushall Olympic today, David Walker, who has in the past scored a hat-trick against FC United for Nantwich Town, Jimmy Turner, Lee Downs, Zach Martin and Stanley Mugisha. And James, the FC side, a couple of changes with injuries.
As for FC United, number 1 James Spencer, number 2 Liam Brownhill, 3 Lee Neville, 4 the captain Dean Stott, 5 Andy Pearson, 6 Charlie Raglan, 7 Matthew Wolfenden, 8 Ashley Mulholland after the injury to Ollie Banks in midweek, number 9 Tom Greaves, number 10 Jerome Wright, number 11 Chris Worsley, and substitutes Mike Norton 12, Tom Davis 14, Rodri Giggs 15, Cavill Coo 16 and Dave Birch 17.
Thank you, James. As far as the FC team are concerned this afternoon, like James says, no Ollie Banks after that horrendous tackle on him in midweek. Matt Walwyn has a groin strain, and Greg Daniels is out because there's concussion involved, and there's a 10-day mandatory absence for that particular injury. Just need to up it in midfield, I think, which is obviously where Banks would be if he was playing. Oh dear, that was very unfortunate. Pearson slips. Oh, good shot though. It was worth the dip. And well, Spenner kept that one out really well. That could have been very unfortunate. It's going to fall in the box. Oh, well, it's still in the box. Corner.
Here comes a corner from Haynes. Adebola, and he's done it. And Adebola, well, that's what they got him in for. There it goes, Haynes taking his time there, over it comes, and Adebola, well, easily getting his head to that there, not enough challenging going on.
Pearson, nobody out here. Wolfenden, Norton in the box. Oh, well, it's a corner. And this is a race 1-on-1. Adebola will hold it up. Good ball through. Pearson. Penalty. No. Yeah. He's given. What's he given? Yeah, he's given a penalty, and he's going to give Pearson a yellow card. Well, was a penalty, wasn't it, James? Yeah. It's number 10, Obeng, to take it. Spencer between him and the goal. Up he steps, scores it. Well, that was a good penalty. Well, James, all to do now.
Well, there was always going to be a danger once FC went behind that Rushall would be strong on the break, and the referee just has to get a grip here as Rushall celebrate some lengths, but well, if FC could salvage a point out of this, it'd be a bit of a miracle, you'd have to say. And good work from Adebola. Held the ball up well, got the ball for Obeng, and just was just too quick for Pearson in the end. And there's a booking for time wasting for Obeng, and that's a little bit silly. If you gild the lily with the time wasting, then you draw the referee's attention to it too much, make it too much of an issue. Well, I think you can put us out of our misery, referee, and indeed Mark Duncan does so. And the handful of Rushall fans applaud their side. A job well done by the visitors. Very even game in the first half. FC with much more of the possession, but Rushall did what they're good at. They basically stifled FC United, and when they had that set piece, Adebola, the experienced man with a fine finish, wasn't challenged enough in the FC defence, and from that point on really FC lost their composure, really didn't keep that good passing game going. Rushall on the other hand looked dangerous on the break, and it was one of those breaks that led to Obeng being fouled in the penalty area, and the same man putting the spot kick away, and Rushall come away with the spoils, Roy.
Yep, one of those games that you just want to forget, really. Terrific start to the season for FC United, but we come up against one of our bogey sides this afternoon, and Rushall did what Rushall do, which is play very strong, very solid, and get you on the break if they can. Well, the points go to the visitors this afternoon. The final score: FC United of Manchester 0, Rushall Olympic 2.
Stephen, this lot have become a bogey side.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, no goals won't play, only one goal scored and a penalty away from home. They set up perfectly well. They know how to play games like that, and if you concede first, you're struggling, and that's happened again this season. With an experienced player, Dele Alli bowler who's obviously been around the leagues, you're going to give him a free header off a corner, you're struggling. But yeah, none of those afternoons where nothing seemed to go right and just didn't have the nerves to break him down really.
Just bringing a player like Adebola in there, and let me put this into perspective for you. He's a player I've heard of. You're always going to be like, you know what I mean? It's going to be one of those. You either have your hands full, you can't give him the ball.
His experience, I mean, you could see that, you know, the age is obviously against him and his legs are not quite what they used to be. But they always said about Tay Sheringham, you've got 10 yards in your head, and you could see it there. And, you know, at times he without playing particularly well, led the defence a bit of a dance, really.
Big strong lad up front, but a big strong defence as well that they had. Was there a case maybe for Mike Norton starting this game?
Possibly. I mean, there's a definite school of thought of trying something differently against teams like that. We don't tend to play 2 out strikers. It's this 4-5-1, 4-3-3, whichever way you want to look at it. And yeah, there's probably a way of playing it slightly differently and going with 2 up front and trying to stretch the defence a little bit more and try and break them down as opposed to trying to go through them, which is never really going to work.
Is that the overall lesson then, or is a lesson, you know, if you've got a player who used to be famous, just try and get at him early?
What we doing, I suppose, yeah. I don't know if we've got the players to do that. It's just about, you know, being a bit smarter and having a bit more nous against a well-organised side. I mean, they're not the greatest football side in the world. They don't pretend to be. They're very good at what they do, very, very good at what they do. We can play football against anybody in the league. But can we just change it slightly against a bigger physical side? Well, the evidence so far is probably not really.
Fair enough then, defeat to Rushall, but not so clear-cut was the midweek away to Frickley Athletic. Always a tough place to go. James Quinn's the man again, in the sheepskin jacket, along with FCUM Radio's novelty commentator, Swampy.
Frickley there, it's picked up by Blow, plays the ball through the middle, there's loads of room in the middle, far too much as Fox plays the ball through the middle, he's onside there, the number 10, here's another opportunity, they've got behind FC's defence, number 9's at the back post, but what can the number 10 do? Cuts one way, looks to get a shot unleashed. And what a goal and what a finish, but that was elementary schoolboy errors from FC United.
Halfway line for FC United, now Ollie Banks plays it out right now to Brownhill. Can he get a cross in? That's not a bad cross. Greaves with the header, and it goes in. Excellent work, absolutely excellent. But he's dispossessed now. It's Greaves, first time ball. Wolfenden goes through, breaks for Norton. Now then, it's a shot. It's blocked. Greaves, can they get another one in? Now it's Banks, right hand side. Banks right inside the 18-yard box, chips it forward. It's gone in, and it's gone in. The goalkeeper punched it, and I think he punched it onto Greaves.
Well, Swampy, you enjoyed that one like a man who's been broadcasting for several decades and yet never had a visit from the police.
You just say them up for me, don't you? These. It was a great game to watch. You know, from an atmosphere perspective, amazing place to be. We were right in and around the FC United fans. What was great to see as well as the young Frickley fans coming across, and they were joining in as well. It was really nice to see a lot of young kids not fearful of joining in and actually being in the same end as the United faithful, which is really good to see. And the game was it was a tough encounter. It's a huge pitch. It's the first time we've been to Frickley in daylight, and it's not as bad as we thought, in all fairness. And the game itself, FC United really buckled down. They were second best in the first half. There was a lot of work to do. Second half they came out there and they battled and they worked and they worked and they worked, and it was a good performance in the end.
It is good to come from behind, isn't it? And well done for carrying on talking despite those sirens after what I said earlier.
I think they were coming for me then.
Greaves with 2 as well. Norton, one of 2 subs who were red carded.
Yeah, I mean the first sending off really, the substitute had come on for Frickley. He overplayed the ball and over exuberance. He tried to win the ball back, but it was high. It was a definite red. And off he went. The incident at the end of the game, really, I would expect a seasoned semi-professional player like Michael Norton, who hasn't had a huge amount of football this season, to be better than that. You know, he's serving a 3-match ban really for, well, I mean, I don't understand why you're going to hit someone, hit them. I mean, footballers now, I mean, they look like stags. I mean, at least then stags take 20 yards back and then run at each other and actually wallop each other. It was handbags.
Is that the frustration that were being left out, do you think?
Well, if it was, I mean, I'm not surprised, because if he is going to headbutt somebody, headbutt him properly.
Fair enough.
But no, it was.
Any kids watching? Just distance myself from them comments. But Tom Davis was on the bench as well. It came on early though, on a top performance.
He did, yeah. I mean, Ragwin got an injury early doors. It was a great defensive bit of work as well because Alec was absolutely outstanding, and Davis, top draw, did really, really well. And it was an overall, it was a workmanlike performance. They battled it. They got a goal out of nothing really. It was just the endeavour and the hard work. And it was good to come back after the 4-0 defeat against Rushall and do what we did, because they got a top quality centre forward. In Alec, he was absolutely outstanding up front, and he causes all sorts of problems, but we ended up dealing with that situation and getting all 3 points.
Yeah, and despite losing a defender, being resolute, Lee Neville clearing off the line at the end.
Yeah, I mean the Lee Neville situation. I mean he was positioned well. It wasn't a very powerful shot. It was never going to trouble Neville. He was there. He headed the ball away. They did have a number of chances, but FC United equally had a good few chances as well in the game. It's a big, vast, expansive park to play on. And you can get that width and get that quality. And we play some good football, and so the atmosphere, the whole night was a really nice. They're a great football club, Frickley. A lot of people don't like going there, and they don't understand why, because it really is a great place to be. They got the old sort of like slag heap opposite the ground that's now been covered, and it's all greenery and grassed over. It's really nice. The stand as well. It's an old stand, it's probably about 70, 80 years old, and it bounces, and it's absolutely terrific and really conducive to a good atmosphere.
A good result on the night, but mind yourself. All right, well, that left Margie's men 4th in the league going into FA Cup weekend. A home tie against a strong Chorley side featuring former FC Cup heroes Jake Cottrell and Sam Ashton. Very few people believe this programme actually requires production meetings, but it does. And I suggested we skip over this one quietly to demonstrate the esteem in which I'm held. Here's 7 minutes of action with Sam Huddart and James Quinn.
Well, this is good play now. Worsley will think about a shot here. Ashton can't hold it. And a little bit of momentum lost there by FC United. Davis, it's intended for Brownhill. Brownhill, low cross, now Greaves. Back to goal. Now it's Daniels. Daniels will check. And now Chorley for Stock with a shot. Well, hits Teague there. But throw in to Chorley, far side. It beats everyone, and a misunderstanding, and excellent recovery, and a real contretemps there between Davis and Spencer. Worsley there battling with Whittam, and now it breaks, and Neville's going to find his name in the book there. Enthusiastic, well, counts him off from the Chorley fans, but a very lively. Comes from Brown, it's not deep enough. Baker, but it breaks. Oh, Jerome Wright, and now Neville with a header. Oh, he's headed off the line, and he headed on the bar. What an important header. Well, a push from the referee, and wouldn't have mattered anyway, but it was still an important header off the line from Keel O'Brien. Very important. Now then, Jarvis. Oh, he slipped through Whittam this time. Can he redeem himself? Yes, he can. It slid through. Those numbers starting to tell. It was a good ball through from Jarvis, who did well. And Whittam, who moments ago headed over the bar, has put his side into the lead. It was a good finish. Spencer out, but not quick enough. And Chorley take the lead. And that slid through now. Wolfenden. Can FC United strike back? Brownhill. Now can Wright get on the end of it? Oh, and the touch from Ashton was absolutely crucial. Decent ball from Brownhill.
Played by Worsley. James Spencer shouting "get out" to his teammates. Oh, he kept it under control really well. Jarvis. Save from Spencer.
What can he do? Matty Warwin chips in, and that's not bad. That's header, and it's an excellent header from Pearson. Fine save from Ashton, and that really will put a spring into FC United's step. Brownhill taken by. No, he's not going to get a penalty for that, and that was foolish from Birch. Really, they have to keep the ball in play and keep the Chorley players on their feet. Brownhill and everybody forward except Jerome Wright. In it comes. invitingly high. Spencer's there too. Have to win this FC United and Spencer's stayed up, so really it's do or die. Good work from Birch. Great ball, Pearson. Can he get this across? Oh, and now FC in real trouble with Spencer out of his ground. Jerome Wright does it. Cottrell can take this into the corner now. And it's and what's the referee giving here? He's yes indeed, it's all over, and that's the final whistle. And disappointment again for FC United and Manchester in the FA Cup. In the end, decisive moment was when Tom Davies, after a period in which he'd won back possession for FC United, lost it again, and then, well, a rash challenge really. And then Chorley control of the game, took control of the game. Witcham had an excellent opportunity, and which he missed, headed over the bar, and then converted the finish when he was put through by Jarvis. So in the end here, Chorley, 11-man Chorley, the victors over 10-man FC United. The final score in this FA Cup first qualifying round tie: FC United and Manchester 0, Chorley 1.
So Stephen, out the FA Cup, to be fair, Wembley was never the principal target this season.
No, probably not. Although before that game, Marty did say to me, post-match interview the week before, if you want to get to Wembley, you've got to beat the best team. So, we were looking forward to beating Charlotte. But it wasn't to be. Just one of those afternoons, really. I described the match afterwards as like two bald men fighting over a comb. Because neither team particularly stood out. They just took the chance when we went down to 10 men. But yeah, it was one of those afternoons where I don't think we've been playing there when they scored a goal.
You mentioned 10 men there, and on the theme of me talking up players who then get sent off, Tom Davies.
Yeah, I mean he was unfortunate with one hand, and it was right decision with the other. He was right decision to send him off. However, the referee probably should have pulled the play back before that, because he was being pulled back all the way, which caused him to lose control of the ball in the first place. But once he'd let the play go, and then obviously he'd lost the ball and gone through on the player. There's only one outcome really, which was the red card. So it was unfortunate, but it had to go, I suppose.
Right. That's too much time already dedicated to that one. Time to focus on the league then, and that cliche was sponsored by Pub Board Direct. Just give them a ring anytime a football conversation threatens to become incisive, and they'll send a former Liverpool player or Alan Shearer straight to you, and things will soon be back in order. So to Stafford Rangers away. Before the match, FC lay 5th. Stafford were bottom, just 1 point from 8 games. But a recent change in management at Marston Road meant that this fixture could become tricky. Thanks again to the guys at Pub Board Direct for that one. Brace yourselves. It's not pretty, and to make matters worse, here's Swampy again with James.
Shoots a send. Oh no, there's a mistake! Terrible mistake! Oh, disaster!
Oh, it sums it up. Well, given away, and all of a sudden, Stafford Rangers have scored.
Greaves there with a quick throw-in. It's intended for Callum Byrne. Byrne has it. Just right-hand side, edge of the 18-yard back. Has to check back. Back plays to Stott. Stott tries to chip it forward. Now Ken Brown, he'll keep this in. Good inside. Brings it into the 18-yard box. Can he get this across? Goes down. And the referee will award a penalty. Stott, he really has to put this one away. Here he comes. And he does it. Sends the keeper the wrong way.
Cleared though by Davis. Then Stott hits the ball high in the air, halfway line. Up goes Warwen. He's on this near touch line. Good defensive header though by Davis. It forces a substitute. The FC United skipper wins the ball, but only momentarily. There's a lovely ball through the middle. Here's a last opportunity. Can they get the goal? They have got the winner right at the end of the game.
Oh. Just 3 minutes on that one then. Actually, just as well, Swampy.
Yes, it was It was an interesting game, to say the very least. Oh, no, it wasn't, was it? No, it was absolutely dreadful. I think I summed it up, and I've said this on about 5 shows in a row now. The warm-up was excellent, half-time wasn't bad, and the warm-down was pretty good, but the 90 minutes was absolutely woeful. From both teams, in fairness, it wasn't just down to FC United. Stafford contributed massively to an absolutely dreadful game of football.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The lads at Pub Board Direct have been on. Can we take some positives? They're asking. So I'm looking at Tom Davies. He played well again. Given that I've said that, he'll probably get sent off again in his next game.
Probably now, yeah. I'm struggling. There were chances. I mean, to be honest with you, on another day, in another game, probably going in the lead 3-0 at half-time. That's to mask over a poor performance. But there's some clear chances missed, really, isn't there? Which you would expect Tom Greaves to put one of the two one-on-ones away, and John Brain in Stafford's goals, man of the match, and pulls off 3 good saves.
Well, Brain did well in the first half. FC United had 3 very good chances, 2 good saves by the goalkeeper. One of them, I thought, basically, the ball should have been played across to Tom Greaves with an open net, but there was a shot instead. Brain saved it. But the warning signs were there. You know, you've got to quit yourself in the right manner when you're playing a team that are bottom of the division. 23 goals conceded, not scoring goals. For me personally, and and I've said it in commentary that Karl will be very disappointed. The players will be disappointed, but they'll bounce back. There's no question about that. They will bounce back. You know, when back in the league games. But I thought we set up all wrong for that game. For me personally, I just didn't think having Jerome Wright playing in the defensive role was the right thing to do. I would have played perhaps 2 up front against a team that weren't scoring goals, and 20 minutes absolutely bombard them, get 2 or 3 in front. Heads go down, and then you can revert maybe back to playing in a different way, because obviously we've got players that are been suspended and are going to be suffering. You know, they're going to be not playing for games. You can do that when you're 3-0 up, but you don't do that at the beginning of a game. For me, that was my take on it.
Yeah. So, it's just Margie on here, just asking if you can come and do the next team talk. Just one more first team match to cover then on this edition of Bring Your Own Ball. It's the first round match in the Manchester Premier Cup, and with this report, here's Cockers.
FC United unfortunately were knocked out of the Manchester Premier Cup 5-4 on penalties after an enthralling 3-3 draw at New Mills on Tuesday night. The host took the lead on 14 minutes as a cross from the right was glanced in by Melford Knight. Mulholland equalised on the 38th minute to make it 1-1, capitalising on a poor back pass to nip the ball past goalkeeper Peter Collinge. Unfortunately, the scoreline was only level for a matter of seconds as New Mills attacked straight from the kick-off, the ball being threaded through to Rhys Nevins, who coolly finished past John Worsnop. With a minute left in the half, the score was 3-1 as a mix-up at the back let in former FC United player Jamie Rother, who finished emphatically. Thankfully, United responded well after the break. The second half was only 3 minutes old when the Reds pulled a goal back thanks to Van Gils. It took just 3 more minutes for the score to be levelled when a great move down the left saw Jerome Wright finding Daniels on the edge of the box. With the scoreline at 3-3 at the end of 90 minutes, it was time for the first competitive penalty shootout in the history of FC United. Mulholland scored the first penalty for the Reds, Hector Pinera replying. Daniels made it 2-1, but Tico Gavi-Mihedji equalised. Poyser then became the villain and victim of the piece by firing his spot kick over the bar, allowing Steve Moore to put the Millers into the lead. Lee Neville equalled it up before Daniel Grimshaw put New Mills back into the ascendancy. Richard Smith kept his cool to bring FC back level before Darryl Weston calmly slotted home his penalty to put New Mills into the next round.
Well, lads.
What can you say?
Good biscuit. No, but last night's game, excellent. I thought good value for money. 3 apiece after 90 minutes, and New Mills just pippins at the post with scoring 5 against FC's 4. But it was a good advert for the league, really.
I enjoyed the game. Yeah, I enjoyed the game. It was good. It's always good to see the young lads getting a run out.
It is, yeah.
Frank Van Gils, the second half particularly was
Did very well. Richard Smith playing at right back, but bombing down the right hand side. It was good to see, and also it's also very good to see a lot of ex-FC players. I mean, it was a big FC United loving last night. You know, Roy Seale being the manager of New Mills. I think there was 10 ex-players, including staff there. Lots of ex-FC United people. Joe Palladino.
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
So the whole evening was a nice big.
And also a bit of FC history. First penalty shootout.
First penalty shootout, and the first time that we've not beaten New Mills.
Yeah.
52 goals I think we'd scored up to that point, and 11 against.
Something ridiculous. Yeah.
We've gone out of the Manchester Premier Cup, but at least we don't have to drink Robinsons.
There we are. And that is September, properly and finally. So what of October, you might ask if you were from the Middle Ages? Well, lads, I'm being ordered by the foreman here to point you in the direction of 2 games in particular in the month ahead. Let's start in the middle of the month, Scammsdale United.
Top of the league. Well, they were a couple of weeks ago. It'll be a strange one because obviously they've come up from the north and they've lost a few players over the summer.
They have, yeah.
So, I suppose an unknown quantity to a certain extent. But
one thing you'll guarantee from Scammsdale is they play football.
Yeah.
They are a footballing team. We talked a bit about Frickley and people, say they play in a certain way. For me, they play football as well. And you'll certainly get from they're not a huge side. They play good expansive football. They've got a lovely pitch to play on there. Good Lancashire Mancunian derby, and it'll be a tough game because they are riding high. They've done very, very well. And another ex-FC United ex-goalkeeper is in there. So we'll be coming against him, and
of course that, yeah.
It'll be a tough encounter, but that's what we're supposed to. That's what we're doing. FC United. We're now embedded into this division. It's our 5th season, I think, is it?
Yeah,
in this division. So we're favourites for a reason, or one of the favourites for a reason, and we've got to be beating teams like Scammsdale.
And then the name of Witton comes back into view as the FA Trophy starts again this month.
Yeah, the 19th, I think, isn't it? I'm at a cider festival in Cornwall, so if you want to join us, because it'd be much better than going to Witton, I think.
Probably, yeah.
That's blasphemy. Stephen, do you want to talk about Witton?
I mean, the trophy's not been a good competition for us the last couple of seasons. We've obviously the Stamford game last year springs to mind, and I suppose it's similar to Charlie in a way that you want to play the better teams if you're going to win the competition.
Well, that is a competition that you want to win because that is the one way of getting to Wembley. We've seen the likes of Spennymoor and other clubs from the North East. So, a great tradition in the North East for going to Wembley, and it's a great opportunity. There's around about £25,000 up for grabs for the winners as well. But it's getting to play at Wembley, and playing at Hello Turf. That's got to be the ultimate aim from any semi-professional footballer. For me, again, Witton's a great opportunity to play some good football. The best pitch in the league by far, absolutely superb.
Big pitch as well, isn't it?
Big pitch. It's conducive for FC United. We need a run in the cup competition. Obviously, the league is very important for us, and one would hope, this time next year we're in a different division. However, the cup competitions are equally important. We're out of one. Let's get on and let's win. Let's get somewhere like we were the FA Cup. But let's do it in this competition, and get into the semi-finals at least. I would think it's a great opportunity,
yeah, I agree.
And a great fact that the fans get an opportunity to travel as well. You can go to different grounds and different clubs because once you get to a certain point in it,
the national
you play nationals, and that's great. Again, so I'm sure Karl will be looking at that one and thinking this is an opportunity.
Yeah, and we'll see how the lads go on without Ollie Banks as well. He's earned himself a professional contract there with Chesterfield, so good luck to him. If you want to get yourself onto the website, fc-utd.co.uk, a full rundown of all the fixtures and loads of other great stuff as well, I'm sure we can promise you that. So, a right mad month that was. Let's hear some sense made of it by the manager, Karl Marginson.
Hi Karl. Thanks for joining us on September's
No problem.
Bring Your Own Ball. September's been quite the month, hasn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's been very eventful, to say the least.
Yeah, as it's been, like you say, very eventful. Been some very good performances, but we've not capitalised on the chances that we've created, and then probably shot ourselves in the foot defensively. We've spoke about that after Saturday's game, especially looking at the stats. I think we have 31 attempts against Whitby, and they've had 7.
Let's start with good news. Yeah. Obviously, the month started excellently. We're coming back off Stamford, Ranfirm and Trafford. Excellent performances.
Team of the month.
Manager of the month and all that. And then obviously Witton Albion was an excellent performance that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but we saw, a red card issued to Chris Worsley, which is, to be honest, has hurt us. I think Chris has had a fantastic start to his time with us, and he's been quite a key player for us in that midfield. I was saying to Darren only a few weeks ago that we haven't really had a player of Chris's abilities since we lost Steve Spencer. He was a big part of our successes in the early days. So to get a red card for what it was just absolutely mind blowing, to be honest. And that's hurt us along with other red cards in the month. Obviously, losing Ollie Banks was a blow. We can't hide away from that. But there's certainly no way we could have stood in his way and stopped him from moving on to what essentially is it's a professional football club, and he's got a chance to carve out a career.
So there was a sending off at Witton, but that was a 3-1 win. There was also a sending off at Frickley as well, and Frickley was the other league win in the month of September, and for me that was one of the best performances of the season so far. Coming back, very difficult place to go, and did that follow on from a defeat? It was Rushall. Yeah, it was the Rushall game where we would ask questions and we weren't able to answer them really. But a very similar game against Frickley at their place, which is always notoriously difficult to go. And coming back from a goal down to win 2-1, you're thinking, we've got this all sewn up now. We can show that we can mix it, and we can also play the football as we did do especially in the second half against Frickley. I thought that was the thing. It was a battle, that match, wasn't it? Because they were tough with the tackles.
Yeah, it was. But I thought we reacted in the main in the right way in respect of meeting the challenge head on. But also remaining disciplined until
the frack out at the end.
Which to be honest, I've not seen. I have heard, about what happened, but we'll deal with that in house.
Also at the Frickley match, we lost Charlie Raglan to injury. Again, like Ollie Banks, he's been quite influential at the start of the season.
Yeah, he's been magnificent. We was looking at it probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had 5 centre halves, and on Saturday we were probably down to a recognised one because we had to filter Dean Stock back into the back four.
How long is Charlie Raglan going to be out for? And we've seen Adam Jones having fitness tests and warming up. Obviously not going to start matches at this time, but how far away is he?
Adam's closer. Well, I've got a check tonight actually with Nick, the fitness coach. Charlie, we're hoping, will be out on the grass with us running this week. Adam's been going through a bit of a fitness regime with Nick, so we'll have to make an assessment on where he's up to. He's chomping at the bit, never stops texting and phoning me, telling me that he's ready, he wants to play and this, that and the other, but we've got to be careful. He's had a very, very serious injury, and the long term is more important than the short term. Look to get him some games within the development squad, firstly, just to get him up to speed before he starts challenging for a regular spot in the first team. I think we need to start rewarding ourselves for the good play. That's one of the travesties of Saturday was all the good play, chances created, and then you don't get your rewards. But just because you're possibly a couple of % off where you should be.
Karl, thanks for joining us and being on this month.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Karl Marginson there. On to FC United's women's team then. Swampy and Stephen have gone to punish animals with sticks, and our women's team correspondent Neil Boothman's here instead. They haven't really. They're using regulation batons. So Neil, 2 matches to go this season. Kicked off against the Oldham ladies. Quite the opponents really for this season, possibly main sort of rivals for promotion.
Yeah, you'd think they would probably be the rivals probably for both the league and the cup. If anyone's going to stop us, like City were the main ones last year, I think it'd be Oldham this year. They came 3rd last year, and we had to get past them in the cup as well. That was a tough match.
A 6-2 one this one, but no goals in the first half, all in the second.
Yeah, I remember Lee saying he gave him a bit of a talking to, and whatever he did do worked. Maybe you should pass some pointers on to Margie.
Lizzie Evans' hat-trick on a competitive debut. Tell me about her.
I've not really seen too much of her. I've seen her in a few of the pre-season matches. She's quite distinctive. She wears a headband all the time, so you can always point her out.
You don't get this from Alan Shearer, do you?
No. Thankfully. No, she looked pretty good, because we had lost pretty much the spine of the team from last season, and she's one of the new ones that's come through, and she seemed confident in her first game.
The other goals from Kirsty Chambers, Shelby Wollstonecraft and Jade Parker.
Yeah, you always get a good one from Kirsty though.
All right, fair enough.
But that's a great marker for the start of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, it put a nice little seal on them. It caps them from getting in front of us, because you'd hope that we'd do the same in the return fixture.
Fair enough. In the following match for Lee Sutter's side then, it was Beachfield United in biblical conditions over in Salford. I think that means it rained, but do tell us, Neil, if there were any crucifixions. I, for one, would find
that noteworthy.
4-0 to FC, 3 up at half-time, so really the opposite of the last match.
Yeah, I think they just took it a bit easier, but I don't think anybody really wanted to play in the rain. It was 45-degree sheeting coming down, the wind. It was pretty horrendous to actually be stood there. I wouldn't want to have played in it terribly.
Kirsty Chambers did, though. She scored again, your favourite, and Charlie Evans and Beth Hayes with the other goals, and Chambers getting another after half-time.
Yeah, she popped up yet again with another one of her classics. She's always getting one from about 30-35 yards pretty much every game. She's one of our better ones. I think she wasn't top scorer last year. I think she came third behind Shelby and Haley, who's now left. But I think it won't be long before she's right at the top of the scoring league this year.
Good stuff, Neil. Thanks a lot for that. Top debut, and well done to anyone who turned up to that game in that rain. As always, you can visit the official website for all the upcoming women's fixtures. Now, I'm well aware that the vast majority of you have resisted the urge to scroll through all this football carry-on to the sexy bit, namely Marv Willers in a field in Moston. Well, backed by popular demand, here is Marv Willers in a field in Moston with his second report from the future home of FC United's new ground.
Thank you, Andrew. But we're not down at Moston today. We've come down to the FC United offices. If this was Grand Designs, and if I was Kevin McLeod, this would normally be the point in the show where I talk in a certain derogatory manner about all the things that FC United are expecting to achieve with this build, the hope, if you will, of the 5,000 capacity ground that's going to be built in Moston. But this isn't Grand Designs. And I'm not Kevin McLeod, so personally, for one, I'm thoroughly excited. And I'm also excited to meet today's guest, General Manager of FC United, Andy Walsh. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Andy Walsh, today. We're down here at the FC offices, but I was just hoping for a little bit of an update, really, for Bring Your Own Ball, on what's happening at Moston at the moment.
Well, we're still finalising the legal agreements and the lease, which we're hoping to get done now in the next few days, really. In the meantime, we're assisting the council and Moston Juniors with some work around the site. The council have granted a licence for us to treat the knotweed that's been on the site for a number of years, and the work team have been on there this last week with diggers and treating that, removing the worst affected elements, and then starting what is going to be a 5-year programme of treatment of that knotweed. And we've also got some groundsmen on there doing some essential pitch works for Moston Juniors to bring the pitches back up to standard so that Moston Juniors can go back on there next summer.
From next summer?
Yeah, we've given a commitment to Moston Juniors that regardless of the pace of the works, that we'll make sure they're back on there for the start of next season.
And for those of us that know very little about knotweed, I'm assuming we're not talking about a few weeds in a field that just need to go along and pull them out and then you're done.
No. There are literally hundreds of stems of Japanese knotweed on the site. There's an infestation that's been on there for a number of years, and it's actually a threat not just to the drainage work and the pipe work at that end of the site, but it's a potential threat to local residents. And Japanese knotweed is a foreign plant, a non-native plant that was brought to this country during the Victorian era, as a decorative, fast-growing plant to be used in gardens. But what people didn't realise at the time, and we realise now, is it also has the ability to get into drains. It finds its way through cracks in brickworks and paving, and then can lift paving and can pull bricks off walls with the movement of its roots. It won't actually go through solid material, but it will find a crack and it'll work its way through that crack. It's quite an invasive species, and any treatment of it has to be done under licence and under control. So we've employed a specialist contractor to deal with that, and the first phase of that work has now been completed.
I suppose that's something that can often get overlooked as well, not just in terms of the knotweed, but the whole build and the environmental impact that you need to take consideration of when undertaking such a project.
Yeah, it is, and we've given a commitment to the council and to local residents that we're going to improve the environment in that area, and this is part of it. And we've going to improve the drainage to the pitches for Moston Juniors, as well as putting down an artificial pitch. We're improving the quality of the grass pitches that Moston Juniors teams are going to be playing on. All the way around the site, we've got a landscaping plan which is going to improve the look of the area. At the moment, the area is fenced off, and there's going to be whole areas of the site where people can walk through and create new areas of what they call public realm, so people will be able to use that space freely without any permission to us. At the moment, there's no designated footpaths across that site, so to get from St Mary's Road to Lightbourne Road, you have to take quite a diversion. We've given a commitment that we will install a footpath that we will later register with the National Footpath Networks, so permanently there will then be a footpath link legally registered through from St Mary's Road to Lightbourne Road.
Okay, great. Plus I like the phrase public realm. It has a certain kind of medieval or Lord of the Rings feel about it as well. I like that. Anyway, also just moving on, I wanted to talk a little bit about the community share side of things as well. So I'm understanding that letters are going in envelopes, or stamps are going on the front of envelopes.
Yeah, we've produced the share certificates, and they're now going out with letters to each of the people who've put the money into the community share scheme, and they should be in people's hands probably when this programme is being broadcast, actually.
Fantastic. So for the next month, I mean, obviously we'll be back here again at the end of, well, that'll be October then, but for the next month, what can people expect?
We'll be able to put more updates out to members. People keep watching the website. We've still got to finalise the lease document. It's taking a long time, but there are a lot of things that still need to be finalised, and we need to make sure that it's all done properly. So once the lease has been signed, we can then announce a start on site date, and we can let people know what the build programme is going to look like as well. So we've been selling golden tickets for people to put the first spade in the ground. We've bought the spade, and
is it golden?
It's actually stainless steel. Good story though. The people who made the spade are Bulldog Tools from Wigan, and it's one of the last dropped forged manufacturers of garden tools in the country. We've bought that spade from them. So the person who gets the golden ticket will be using an iconic British garden spade.
Oh, fantastic. And just so people know, how do they get themselves a ticket?
Tickets are available from the office. They're also available from a range of sellers on a match day at Gig Lane or at Staley Bridge.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Andy, for joining us today, and good luck for the next 30 days.
Cheers, Marv.
Can you smell it? Can you? That certain sense of hope, that air of ambition that circles the FC United office at the moment. All the leases are going out, all the certificates. There's a lot of licking going on in the office at the moment, and it's the kind of licking that personally, for one, I like. This has been Marv Willers down at FC United office. Back to the studio.
Marv Willers there, concluding this edition of Bring Your Own Ball. We hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to say I did. Unfortunately, I'm as ill as some lyrics by an incredibly good rapper. And if you're wondering why we've not covered the Whitby Town match, it's because time travel is currently beyond our abilities. You can watch highlights of that match right now, though, on our website, FCUM.tv. A big thanks to studio guests Neil, Swampy and Stephen Wood for joining me this month. We'll be back at October's end to bring you all the action and more classic NPL Bants, which is honestly what all the kids are calling it, from another month of hashtag FCUM action. In the meantime, do follow us on Twitter at FCUMTV, but from everyone here at Bring You On Ball, ta-da.